2 years ago, took this piece of steel and decided I wanted to make a knife out of it. Right there, if you can look closely, you can kind of see where I marked out where I want to cut to make this knife. Kind of a Bowie style knife. Now, I don't know what piece of steel this is. I know nothing about its hardness or what type it is or anything like that. I just wanted to learn how to make the basics of a knife. So my idea at the time was to take this piece of steel, cut out a Bowie knife style shape, and grind the bevel on it, shape it, do whatever I need to do with. I recently came across a tool that I think would help me build this thing and finish it pretty easily. And I'll show you that in the video. But for now, I'm gonna go out and get an angle grinder, set up with a cutoff wheel. I'm gonna finish cutting this rough shape out, and then we'll be back to show you what this tool is. This is the Bucktool Professional Dual Belt Sander. This thing is awesome. It is super powerful. It is a professional, mega powerful work tool. So it comes with two different grit belts, a coarse and a fine. It has two solid, thick steel work tables on it. The thing just feels like a tank. There's no flimsy plastic parts on it. All the work surfaces, everything, all the working parts, the moving parts are all metal. The thing is really cool. It's not super loud. I mean, it's about as loud as, it's probably quieter than a bench grinder, to be honest. This is what I'm gonna use to make my knife. I'm going to take what I just hacked up on that angle grinder, I'm gonna smooth all the edges out, and then I'm gonna start carving a bevel into it. This thing can do curves on the edges. It can flip down and become a table belt sander. It can become, obviously in this format where it's upright and you've got a work table, the work table can be flipped backwards to give you more space if you need a longer belt. It's just really, really cool. I'm really impressed with how easy it is to switch the belts in and out. I'm not saying this thing is perfect. There are a few things that I'm kind of a little disappointed in, but I wouldn't say they're deal breakers by any means. I'll get to those in the end. If you want to know those, stay tuned to the end. So for now, let's take our knife blank and see if we can turn it into something a little more refined. A knife blank. How cool is this? Like an hour. I'm not kidding you. An hour from the time I went out back with the angle grinder and cut this thing out of steel to this point, it has taken me 1 hour to get a bevel on this thing, to clean off all the rust, to shape it, to smooth out pretty much virtually all of the rough marks and stuff from cutting it out. To this point, it's taken me 1 hour. The Bucktool Professional Dual Belt Metal Grinder is a beast, man. It thing is just, it eats metal off of your blank or your stock. Unreal. I'm blown away with how cool this thing is. That coarse belt is unreal. It just chews and chews and chews off metal, and it just keeps going and going and going. Like I smoothed everything. I used 90% on that coarse belt. Being able to flip the belt down and go from horizontal to vertical is amazing, dude. It's just so easy to pop that thing down, rip off all the scale and the rust and stuff, flip it over, do on the edge of the belt. To do this curve was just so easy. To do these inner curves, I just flipped it over, boom, boom, done. Right? By no means am I a metal worker or a fabricator, but from just the little bit that I spent with this thing, it works so well. It is just amazing. So some pros and cons of the Bucktool Professional Grinder. It's cool, but it's not perfect. So a couple things. Pro, the ability to just flip a switch on the side and be able to swap belts in and out is awesome. I love that. You can have, you know, a ton of different grip belts ready to go and swap them out super quick. I love that. Just this sheer power of it. One horsepower, that 1 horsepower motor is quiet. I think it's by no means loud enough that I feel like I need ear pro, although you probably should when operating any kind of power tool, but it's not very loud at all, but it just has constant power, man. It just chews and chews and chews through stock. So just amazing with that. Yeah, like I said, the ability to flip that belt down to be horizontal or vertical, cool. The tool rests are amazing. They're huge. They really give you a great place to put your stock on and get a good purchase on and really dial in that angle, and it just stays there. It locks in really tight. And the ability that you have 2 belts, so you don't have to swap them out if you don't want to. You can have your coarse, you're fine. Like I switched over from when I was doing the bevel on this, I switched over from the coarse to the fine to really refine that bevel down, and I actually got a decently sharp edge just off that belt, which I'm really impressed. Another cool thing that I really love about this, it didn't get really hot. So yeah, it did get hot. I was wearing gloves and I stopped every once in a while, let it cool. But I had this thing on that coarse belt just grinding this bevel down to the point where we got fairly thin metal here. And look at that, like, I don't know if you can see, but there is no bluing anywhere on this blade. It never got hot enough to change the metal color. So again, amazing. Any parts that you want to be metal are metal. And there's only a few plastic parts, maybe the switch and maybe the handles on one of the tightening the tool rest, but nothing. I mean, it's just amazing. Everything is amazing. As amazing as it is, it's not perfect. So a couple of problems that I had experienced with mine. I don't know that this will happen with yours, but if it does, here's how I solve the problems. When I pulled it out, the instructions are not the clearest on how to assemble it. Now, I read through and it said use these metal screws here to mount the switch on. However, on my particular model here that I've got, it just had 2 holes in it. Now, I've seen that before where they just stamp out 2 holes and they give you self-tapping screws to be able to tap those threads in to mount it in. However, these screws are not self-tapping. So I did try to get them to tap. I figured, okay, maybe it's just big enough that, you know, if I get a thread or 2 to catch, I'd try that. So I tried it with a screwdriver a few times. I couldn't get it to catch. It's just the hole was just a little bit too small for these screws. I even tried an impact. I put my impact on it and tried to, like, you know, if I could zing it fast enough and maybe it would get hot and it would bite and grab in there, but no luck. So I just wound up putting a couple of sheet metal screws in there, and it held it just fine. So that was my one problem. You know, that's honestly the biggest problem I found with it, which is a very non-issue in my opinion. So they do give you an extra set of handles as well for it. So you can use these to, these are for the tool rests, right? So they give you smaller ones that are the plastic handles. These are all metal. So if you do want all metal, or you're worried about them melting for some reason, although I was putting a lot of sparks, a lot of heat through this, and nothing really ever came out. That the spark arresters on that are amazing. It caught it really well. I never worried about sparks flying and catching a fire in any way. I love this thing. I can't wait to use this again. If you want to see more of this knife build, if you want to see it, subscribe down below and let me know in the comments down below that you want to see me finish this knife. Like I said, it took 2 years for me to get it to this point, but in a matter of an hour today, I took it from sitting underneath my bench for 2 years to I've got a knife blank here now. It still needs a lot more work, but it's getting there, and I could make my own knife pretty soon, which is pretty cool in my opinion. But if you like this Bucktool Professional Dual Belt Metal Grinder and you want to pick one of them up for yourself or a loved one or a friend or family or whatever, click the link in the description down below as well as the first pinned comment and pick one of these up for yourself today. And with all that being said, like I said, if you like this type of content, subscribe down below. If you like gear reviews, tool reviews, motorcycle content, camping content, kayaking content, hiking content, other camping gear reviews, I think I already said that once. Like, we do so much on this channel. Woodworking, huge. It's huge on this channel. So click the subscribe button down below and click the bell so you're notified when I do put out new content. Also, if you're still watching this, please click that thumbs up button and show me the love. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps out the channel huge. Click that like button and drop a comment down below. Do all the things. With all that being said, I will see you on the next one.